Hi, my name is Jabril Simmons, and I'm here to talk about my Ethogram findings. The summary of my Ethogram findings was my Ethogram findings were about the giraffe, the animal that I did. I found out about their behaviors, which were how many times they were standing, walking, eating, sleeping, and their movements, especially in their ears. They were walking, standing around on all four legs. That's how they walk. How they eat, they chew on leaves, they bite and they pull leaves from the tree. Most of the time they were out of sight, so I really couldn't see what they were doing most of the time. They stand still in a still position on all four of their long legs. They walk on all four of their long legs, two first and then the other two. And they were walking and standing with all the other giraffes, and they stand still in one position. Discuss factors that may have influenced the behaviors that I did or did not see. Since it was mostly daytime, it affected me seeing their sleep cycle, their communication skills to the other animals, and their eating habits. How does my animal show consciousness? Giraffes are incredibly intelligent and can learn to recognize individual humans even if they have not seen them before. They can also remember specific routes over long distances, so they can easily find food sources they already visited. Giraffes have more neurons in their brain than other animals like lions or bears. Their cognitive abilities allow them to adapt their behavior quickly in response to external stimuli. How does giraffe demonstrate communication with other members of their species? Giraffes do communicate with one another. Although they are silent animals, they have a form of communication called nonverbal communication, which you can't really hear, but you can understand. Humans cannot hear most of the communication between giraffes because they communicate nonverbal with moans and grunts that's too low for the human ear to hear. Mother giraffes sometimes use whistles to warn or call their young. Other ways giraffes communicate are with their eyes and by touching other giraffes in the herd. How does giraffes demonstrate social cognition? Adult females tend to choose social companions with similar dietary requirements and like to eat the same plants. Adult males will congregate in bachelor groups while the more mature male spend most of their time by themselves. Adult males will spend times with females when looking for females to mate with when it's time. Giraffes were long thought to be mute until the late 1970s, when it was discovered that giraffes do indeed communicate with each other. Giraffe vocalizations, although they are quiet and low, they have been described by humans to hear snorts, hisses, bursts, growls, and things of that nature. How would your animal show flexibility? Giraffes have adaptations, which are physical traits or behaviors that help animals survive in their natural habitat. For a to test out giraffes, I would do a research project with a team, put together a team, and put the giraffe in a different habitat or environment to see how they would adapt, and just to do a little bit of testing, research, and write it down. How would individual differences influence each of these behaviors outlined above? Individual differences affect each one of these behaviors above because if they were brought differently, they would adapt and adjust to different behaviors. The same if they was brought up together, they would all have the same behaviors, but if they were brought up differently, they would learn different things, and it would probably be more harder for them to adapt. If a giraffe were raised in the wild and one were raised in a zoo, they would learn different behaviors, like I said, and it would take time for them to adapt into something new. Thank you for listening to my Jabril talk. Thank you.